Alright, hey everybody, what's up? I hope you enjoyed the deer hunting videos. We've got two of the deer from the Wisconsin rifle season here. Big Doe and the buck we call Goofy. And today, so a couple years ago, I did a video where I just filmed the whole breakdown process, and it was like an hour long. And that can be a little intimidating to watch, especially if you're just looking for like one part. So today I'm going to film each section individually and then have individual videos. So we're going to start on the doe, and basically I'm going to get this down. I'm going to lay the buck down on the tarp, get this down, and then get started on the doe. Alright, so we're going to skin this deer out. You're going to start up here on the back, and you can start wherever you want to do this. I found that going right along this color change is the easiest way, and so you're gonna want a sharp knife for this. Just know that hide is really tough on knives, so keep your hone handy. Cut, the first incision you're going to make. Now, as you're coming up this leg, you got to be careful not to cut the tendon that's holding this thing up. You can still butcher a deer if you do cut that, but it's much, much more difficult. There. Like I said, keep one of these handy. Make that exact same cut on the other side. in the interest of keeping this a little shorter, I'm gonna get this down to the neck and shoulder. All right, so you can see the shoulder poking out right here. Okay, so all we're gonna do, just gonna take our knife. Okay, just gonna slide again, looking at that color change line. Just gonna cut right down along the color change line. Okay, so now we got that to there. All right, a lot of times there are some good stakes on this shoulder, but once you're to this point, if you make a mistake with your knife down in here, you're not in danger of really ruining much, because that's all shank meat. I'll show you what I do with those in a minute. There's that. Let's turn them here. Okay. See that? Oh. This side is basically almost skinned itself out. So, okay, I'm just gonna put some pressure, and I'm just gonna pull and cut where I see that skin trying to pull away from the body. Okay, so I'm just gonna, now a lot of processors would stop right here. And they would say, that's far enough. You know, there's nothing in there anyway. But I'm gonna show you, if you keep bringing this down, I like to try to get this hide all the way to the back of the deer's head. I can feel the antlers right there. So one thing you can do, this is doe. This hide doesn't really matter that much to me. Is you could try to split this. But I've never done it that way before. I don't know if it even works. Go over this in a little more detail, but right here you can see these two strips of meat. Those are just as tender as an inner loin or a back strap, and that's part of the reason why I like getting these hides down so far. You can get a big cut out of there if you get this back far enough. So this is all skin down. That's the back of the neck. First thing we're gonna do though is take these front shoulders off. So for that, I got clean gloves because now we're handling meat. And I got a clean, sharp knife. A couple of ways to do this. There's a lot of fat on this dough, so we're gonna trim as we go. But first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna separate off this big chunk right here, because that This piece right here, you could stake this. I like to keep it whole and use it for like smoked barbecue meat. You know, you can cut it once this way, use it for carne asada. It's gonna have a longer drain to it. So, hi babe. You can stake it out if you want. There's a lot of other stuff you can do with it. And that piece ends up in the grind pile way too often. Okay, so what you have here is your flat iron. Now, there's a lot of people that will tell you that because there's a big chunk of sinew that runs through the middle of this, that it's not really worth taking off. I'm not one of those people. I think this makes a lovely steak. That piece obviously doesn't go with it. So now we've got a hunk for the trim pile. So, what you want to do, those are the right feet, baby. So what you want to do is you're going to find this big tendon right here. Okay? See that? That piece of silver skin is going to carry all the way through here. So all you're going to do is lay this down, grab a hold of that tendon, and then basically butterfly this. Okay? See how that flips up and over like that? And now you've got one. Okay, and here's this big tendon. So now just angle your knife up to get it out of there. And long strokes. Slice that back out and down. Now this piece, you're not gonna be able to do anything with that. That can just go off in the corner for our big trim pile, or for our big trash pile. Okay. And now we've got two very pretty flat irons. All right, so there's that. So we're gonna cut this off. Okay. Set that off to the side for a second. I'll tell you what to do with that in a minute. Now, the only thing left to do on here all right. So all the rest of this basically you're going to take off the bone. And that right there is one big giant shoulder piece. So you're just gonna fold that up nice. Okay? And you're gonna wrap that just like that. So you got a chunk for trim. You can grind this, you can put this in your trim pile if you want. I think that if you throw that in a crock pot with Mexican spices, this is what you'd make your barbacoa out of. It's fantastic. Okay, so last piece here is the shank. So normally you would joint this and saw this, but they figured out a much easier way to do this. And it saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of wear and tear on your knife. So you're gonna find that bone. And again, we're gonna bone this out. So you're just gonna take the tip of your knife, get it in there until you find the bone. I'm just gonna slice this off of here. Flip it. And find the other side of those two cuts. Tendon. These two cuts are going to connect back here. Okay. Now you can do whatever you want with this. Recently, I made an Indian dish called Rogan Josh from the Meat Eater website with that cut of meat, and it was wonderful. Now the other nice thing about this is now this packs down nice and neat for a trash bag. So if you want to make the Rogan Josh, you're just going to cut this into rounds, and I'm going to go about finger width. Okay, and now you've basically got a boneless shank. You can make ossobuco with this. You can make pretty much whatever you want with that calls for a shank meat. I just happen to really like that Rogan Josh. It turned out really good. The naan recipe came from Rasa, Malaysia. But this is what you would use for that. And the nice thing is that by having the bone out of there, it's going to take up less space in your pot. So if you don't have a bunch of big pots and you want to make a big batch of this, so you've got leftovers for the week or whatever, you can do that. You can get more meat in there. Now the whole thing with slicing the bone is that it does allow marrow to release, which will give your meat which will give you a silkier, smoother meat, because it's got fat. But if you're like me and you don't want to waste a bunch of time dulling stuff on bone, or you don't want to mess with a bandsaw,
wait,
you can just, now I cut the end off of this. I cut the ends off of this because that's just all tendon in there. Okay, now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good chunks. This can go over in our scraps pile. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to take this big chunk of bat off of here. And try to. Hi, babies.
Can I touch this?
Yeah.
Can I touch this?
Mm-hmm. What's it feel like? Yeah. So it's a little wet and it's a little hard. So this piece right here, this is perfect for your grind pile. So we got a grind pile there, and that is a front shoulder. This we're gonna save, and we're gonna try melting all of this down for suet. And we're gonna make a suet brick for my beautiful wife, and roll some birdseed in it. And we're gonna see if we can make a bird feeder suet brick. So I'm gonna do the next front shoulder, and then I'm gonna move on to the neck.